Anisha, our counter is not reachable. You will be playing our counter.
All right. Can I get the sheet for that?
I'll share.
Let's start. Hi, Gayatri.
Hello, Gayatri.
Hi Mukesh, hi Raj, hi Rupinder, hello Rajesh. Anisha, hi Anisha.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, I think the host
Unmute.
हाँ नहीं वो गलती
Welcome to meeting number 123 of Professional Speakers, where eloquence meets impact. It is 4 o'clock, which means that every Sunday it is time for a professional speakers meeting. Before we start, I would like to recite the club mission statement. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the guests. Thank you for attending Rajesh Sharma from Embark Toastmasters Club, Gayatri Deshmukh from Turning Point Toastmasters Club, our Toastmaster of the day, Urfia Abdul, again from Embark Toastmasters Club, and a warm welcome to Anisha, who's looking to join a Toastmasters Club. I know that we are few in number, which reminds me of the famous quote by William Shakespeare in his poem King Henry V, in which he talks about his band of brothers. And he says that the fewer men, the greater the share of glory. And today, I hope that each one of us will do our very best to make up for the numbers. But before that, let us start with our trademark, which is the short-term goals assessment of each of our short-term goals assessment. Short-term goals is a unique feature of professional speakers in which each member comes up and updates the rest of the audience on where they stand with their short-term goals. I will now share my screen so that we can go through the short-term goals one by one. I was expecting certain members to be present, but since they are not present, I will skip their slides, starting with the short-term goals. As soon as your name crops up, please straight away start updating us. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. This is Aditya. My short-term goals are to post 5 LinkedIn articles by December 31st and write 3 answers per week on Quora. Due to my schedule of traveling, I'm not been able to keep up with my short-term goal, but I hope to get back on very soon. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Anshupriya Prasad, and my short term is goal to improve my listening skills, and I'm working on that. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mukesh Thakur, and my goals at professional speakers are four. First one is to reduce grammatical mistakes to zero, and goal two is uninterrupted flow of content. For goal one and two, I am writing 1,000 words every day, and in this week I have written 7,000 plus words. For goal number three, which is flawless enunciation and pronunciation, and goal number four, which is to stay on natural on the stage. I am doing some exercises. I have read around 70 pages this week, and let's hope for the best. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Raj Mehta. My short-term goals are concerning my voice, my accent, And for that, I am reading some novels. Generally I read 10 or more than 10 pages per day, but this week I was not able to do it. But at the same time, I was conducting trainings for budding entrepreneurs for the last 4 months on weekends. The training is going to be over by the end of this month. And two of the companies have engaged me as their HR consultant. That is my achievement during the last, out of the efforts done during the last 4 months. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. On January 9, 2021, I have been invited to deliver a keynote address in District 8 TLI session. I have been practicing for the same and I have decided on the title of my speech. The title of my speech is Get Out, in which I encourage members to step out of their clubs and take roles. I will share the details of my keynote address with you. You're most welcome to attend and encourage me. So far, I have practiced 6 times and I continue to improve with every speech. Thank you very much, professional speakers, for all the support that you have rendered thus far.
Hello everyone, myself Sandeep. I have two smart goals for this year. One is to better command on English language by reading novel or writing blogs or take online grammar test. Last time I did the grammar test, we scored around 72%. So there is a slightly improvement as compared to last year. And I have make an attempt to write another professional speech on theory of constraint, which I will be delivered in future. Regarding impromptu speaking, I'm still lacking band and we will cover soon. Over to you, presiding officer.
Thank you. And that concludes our short-term goal session. I will stop sharing the screen. Now, returning to the theme of today. It is not often that professional speaker engages with speakers from outside. And if we do, we usually do it as part of our signature power talks. Of our signature power talk, where we invite people from outside to deliver a speech around communication. Since today we won't be having the power talk, we will instead be having two table topic session. And a big thank you to Aditya Gupta for agreeing to agreeing to host two table topic sessions. Now, to introduce our Toastmaster of the day, like I say that it is not every day that professional speakers invite somebody from outside. But I have had the privilege of listening to our Toastmaster of the day on the theme that she is going to present, not once, but twice. And I can vouch for it that each time was better than the last. You are about to witness a masterpiece in being a Toastmaster of the day. As I call on stage, Toastmaster Urfia Abdul. Spotlighting Urfia Abdul. Urfia Abdul, recipe for a leadership cake. Recipe for a leadership cake, Urfia Abdul.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rupinder. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into the theme, I want you all to close your eyes and begin to imagine that you are baking your favorite cake in the world. Have a picture ready in your mind. Decide the size and the number of layers that your cake would have. Think about the ideal consistency of the batter. Think about how sweet you like your cake to be. Whether you want just one flavor or you want a combination. Think about the kind of frosting and cream you want it to be covered with. And my favorite part, the toppings. Whether you like nuts, chocolate, sprinkles, or even maybe fresh fruits. While you think about your imaginary cake, take a second And I would like to welcome anyone on the stage who would want to share with us what their imaginary cake looks like. Anybody? Okay, I see Gayatri raising her hand. Go ahead, Gayatri.
It was a double-layered chocolate cake with chocolate truffle frosting, and there were walnuts sprinkled on it, and then there were cherries, the fresh cherries to add that flavor, and there were chocolate chips on it, and it was dark chocolate cake.
To my surprise, it is exactly the same thing as I had imagined without the cherry. Anybody else wants to share their
Yeah,
imaginary cake? Yes, Raj.
yeah. Okay. I had imagined that the size of my cake will be the size of my physique, and the layers of number of layers shall be the number of years I am of, and on top of that, it will be having toppings of cherry and some other things. The point is that when the cake will be cut, I will come out of the cake.
Wow. We have very creative bakers among us. Well, baking a cake and becoming a leader are more similar than one might initially think. In order for either of these processes to be successful, baking a cake, becoming a leader, there needs to be a well balanced combination of the key ingredients. As the theme today, we will be learning the recipe of a leadership cake, which, when baked at perfection, will turn us into an effective leader. Now, think of yourself metaphorically as a cake. We are one big cake, and every cake needs four main ingredients. Now, what are those ingredients? To make this recipe very easy to remember, the ingredients are the letters of the word cake. Your leadership cake must include C, communication, A, authenticity, K, knowledge, and E, empathy. Now, communication is like the flower of your cake. Clear and effective communication skills form the base of a leader. Moving on to authenticity. Authenticity is the well-greased pan in a preheated oven. A leader's thoughts and opinions need to be authentic. One of the easiest ways to mess up your cake is by trying to sound like somebody else. So you don't want that in your cake. And knowledge is like the butter. You may have heard that knowledge is power. Well, knowledge is only powerful if you spread it like you spread a butter. And lastly, empathy. Empathy acts like eggs in your cake. It is the binding agent that helps a leader connect with others. So to summarize, the key ingredients of a leader are the letters of the word cake: communication, authenticity, knowledge, and empathy. And the most important tip, if you take a cake out of the oven before it is ready, the batter will be raw and the cake will be unfinished. With that thought, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, it is my privilege to be the Toastmaster of the day. The structure of the meeting today will be similar to following a recipe to bake a cake, and it is divided into 6 sections. Now, we have already seen the first section where the leaders shared their short-term goals. In the next section, we will hear from a professional speaker, which will be followed by the first round of table topic sessions. Then the fourth round will be the prepared speech, which consists of 2 prepared speakers, and then another round of table topics, which will then proceed with the evaluation section headed by Toastmaster Rupinder. It is my pleasure to introduce you all to the tag role players for today. The timer will be Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. The R counter will be Toastmaster Faisal Ar-Rahman. And the grammarian is Toastmaster Gayatri. I please request the grammarian to introduce the word of the day.
Thank you so much. Word of the day is pragmatic. Pragmatic means the synonyms would be practical, realistic, and sensible. A person who is pragmatic is considered as who is concerned more with the matter of fact rather than with the what could be, what should be, and how it could have been. The exact meaning or the definition of the word pragmatic would be dealing with things sensibly and realistically in a way that is based on practical rather than theoretical considerations. Examples would be pragmatic approach was taken while making the tough decisions. There was no pragmatic solution to the problem. I am sharing the word of the day along with its synonyms, meaning, and the example sentences in the chat for everyone. Thank you so much. Over to you, Madam Timod.
Thank you so much, Grammarian. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome the professional speaker for the day, Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar, whose favorite cake is the fruit cake. Sandeep is a goal-oriented person and leads his life with passion. People call him a friend for everyone. Currently working as the area manager in Deccan Air Conditioning and has been associated with Toastmasters for 4 years now. Let's welcome Sandeep on stage as he demonstrates how to put the celebrated 80-20 rule to work in your favor. Toastmaster Sandeep, the 80-20 principle. The 80-20 principle, Toastmaster Sandeep.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster Day. I request host please allow me the sharing rights.
Sharing is enabled.
How many of you believe that the whatever efforts we are putting, we are expecting the same results? Most of. And why does it happen? Because our mind is programmed in such a way since the childhood, the more hard work we put, we expect the same result. Isn't it? Now let's do a small game, which we used to do in childhood. Look, observe this picture and spot our differences. I will give you 15 seconds. Time over. Let me ask Rupinder first. What have you observed? Only one thing, then I will next go to the next candidate.
The person making the most progress is putting in the least amount of effort.
Mukesh.
Just by removing the corner, the player has smartly leveraged its position ahead of its competitors.
Gayatri.
The one who has progressed the most, he knows the exact requirement for the progress. Others have not found the key to that progress.
Okay. Now let me ask this from the rest of the members. Urfia. Now question is there a difference in field for all the candidates who are putting the efforts?
I think no.
No. Okay, let me ask Raj sir, are they putting same efforts? Sir, are you there? Okay.
Let me ask. They are putting the same efforts, but the person who is ahead of others.
Hold on, sir. Hold on. Let me ask Aditya. So by seeing the picture, have they chosen same task to work on?
Yes, it looks like it.
Here's the difference. If you see, there is only one person who's actually performing different tasks. That is highlighting in a orange ball. And rest are having the same tasks. So it means it doesn't matter how efforts we are putting in. It actually matters what task are we taking to maximize our results. Hope it makes a difference and you identify all the things. Now let's see the ground level. The principle 80-20, which which will be known as Pareto principle, 80-20 rule, law of vital few, and many things. Wilfredo Pareto, an Italian economist, what he saw is one day he observed that 80% of peas were come from 20% of pea pod. And here he cast the uneven distribution. Then he opened the theories, whole the stats of Italy country, and he observed 80% of Italian land was owned by 20% of country's population. Not even that, he further opened the stats of the world, and he observed that 20% of richer world people contributes 80% of people income. And here the undistributions comes into the picture, which actually draws the attention between whatever the maximum efforts we are putting is not equal to the maximum efforts we expect. So this is the result of this principle. It doesn't matter how effort we put, it actually matters what tasks we chosen. More actions is not equal to more results. The main key takeaway of this principle is 80% of output results comes from 20% of all inputs. And earlier it was stated for wealth and population. Then it draws attention to all the applications, whether it's health, whether it's relationships, whether it's business. Let me share some examples. 20% of scientists discovers 80% of things. 20% of authors contributes to 80% of books sold. 20% of friends or family members actually draws 80% of happiness. 20% of road having 80% of traffic. Microsoft observed that 20% of programming codes are having 80% errors. And I think you all have been watching the cricket and other sports. It has clearly observed that 20% of players contributes 80% of total wins. Now let's see the other aspects. 20% of criminals are responsible for 80% of crime. 20% of drivers are responsible for 80% of road accidents. 20% of clouds actually having rain, 80% of rain. 20% of actors actually having the 80% public attention. And last but not the least, 20% of customers generates 80% of revenue. Now, all are speakers. Let me ask one thing. How many percentage of speech actually holds 80% of takeaway for the client, for the audience? It is whole speech, or it is some part of speech which actually make a key takeaway for the 80%.
Some part of speech.
Exactly. Now, how to apply this principle? We all belongs to different profession. So I'm just taking the example of general goal setting. So let's do a task right now. Write down 10 goals in your sheet. Any 10 goals which you think which will make impact on your life. 10 goals. I will give you 10 seconds for that. Hope you have done. If I ask you to choose only one goal so that it can make the greatest positive impact on your life, what would you choose? Just mark a tick on it. And after tick mark, just focus on that goal first. And then pick the second most important goal. And here the another uneven distribution comes in the picture. Some of the leaders believe that only one task at a time would be better by having the multiple tasks at a time. Because if you take one task which actually having the positive or greatest impact, that will deliver more result as compared to having the hands-on multiple tasks. What are the benefits of this principle? It increases your productivity. It helps in increase your decision making. It helps in increase your time and life management skills. It helps to keep you motivated. Let me share one example which you have already maybe known to your close ones. Once I was in 8th standard. I had a friend. He only used to study only 4 to 6 hours, where I had other friend who kept on studying day and night. Now, whenever the results came, my friend who used to study 4 to 6 hours scored maximum marks as compared to the person or my friend who actually studied day and night. I think this is a common example which you can relate to any of your friend, isn't it? And second example, in your profession, you can easily identify a person who actually chilled out, do minimum work, and deliver maximum results. So here the question is hard work better or smart work better, or both matters? Let me ask guest Rajesh, which matters the most to you, sir?
I believe that any goal that has outcome or value matters, and I try from and actually teaches this that we should make smart goals which create impact.
Thank you. So one smart thing we can do is choose the right task, which can actually produce maximum results. Once we choose the task, we have to do hard work on it to get the maximum results in a least time. So the main output of this principle is smart work in choosing the task and apply your hard work on that to deliver the result with the minimum time. So both matters. So you have to choose wisely whatever the things you do. This is all from my side. I hope that you will definitely exercise on your goals again, select the particular task, and apply your thought process to maximize your results. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandeep. There were many key takeaways from your speech. Let's now observe 1 minute of silence for the audience to write their evaluation. Thank you, timer. Now, every cake has a unique flavor, essence, and toppings that distinct them from each other. The next session represents just that. For the sake of sticking to the theme, I like to call it the table toppings round. To conduct this session, we have someone who loves the butterscotch cake. Toastmaster Aditya Gupta describes himself as a listener, learner, and a speaker. He is on a mission to lead a meaningful life and impact 1 million lives by 2030. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Aditya to conduct the first round of table topics. Toastmaster Aditya, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters of the day. Let's begin the table toppings round. I'm pretty sure all of you already know the rules. I'll quickly summarize it in 30 seconds. You'll have 1 to 2 minutes to speak on a topic that will be given to you on the spot. The timer will indicate green card at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5, 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. You'll have a grace of 30 seconds to wrap up your speech after the red card. For the first one, I would like to have some volunteers who would like to go first. All right, Gayatri, raise her hand first. Gayatri, make sure you pin our timer, DTM Mukesh, before you start. All right, you ready? Perfect. So Toastmaster Gayatri, what are your 5 ingredients to bake a beautiful life? What are your 5 ingredients to bake a beautiful life? Toastmaster Gayatri.
Thank you so much, Aditya. 5 ingredients to make your life wonderful. The first ingredient, without any doubt, is smile. Smile is one thing that will cure most of your problems. Just spot that smile on your face and you will overcome most of the hurdles and you will avoid most of the troubles in your life. Second ingredient, in my opinion, would be humor. I have read a lot about spirituality. I practice spirituality. And most of the renowned saints across the globe have one thing in common. And guess what is that one thing? Sense of humor. You don't believe me? Adi Shankaracharya, 8th century saint, had said that this entire world is illusion. Once an elephant was running towards him while he was teaching his students. Everybody climbed the trees. And after the elephant had gone, everybody came down. A student asked Adi Shankaracharya, Guruji, you said everything is illusion. Why did you get scared and climb the tree? And Adi Shankaracharya said, yeah, even that elephant was illusion and even me getting scared was illusion. So I believe sense of humor would be the second ingredient. Third ingredient would be lots and lots and lots of good food. I had been in a spiritual journey for about 7 months without money. Believe me, you can live without money, but good food that is something you cannot do without. If you're upset, your good food is the remedy. If you're not feeling well, eat good food. If you're not feeling right, eat good food. And if you want to make someone else happy, prepare some good meal for that person. Fourth ingredient would be love. Love is one feeling which is unconditional, and that unconditional love will make your life beautiful. And fifth ingredient would be honesty. Honesty with yourself and honesty with others. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
That was a beautiful take on the topic. Well done, our grammarian. Who would like to go next? So we have another guest. In fact, we have a guest back to our meetings after quite a long time. In the order of people who raised their hands first, Sandeep's spouse, then Raj sir, and then Shivpriya. And then I'll move on to other people. Can you do an audio check?
Hello,
Yes, perfect. Can I have your name?
my name is Parul.
All right, Parul, perfect. So, Parul, I'm wondering, who do you sometimes compare yourself to? Who do you sometimes compare yourself to, Parul?
Okay, hello everyone. Um, I idolize my father the most, and I always compare myself with him because when I grew up, I watched him like my idol or my coach, my teacher, my mentor, and every time I do something or what what will I say? I decide something, or so I always think that if my father will be on place, how will he be able to answer that question, or how will he be able to decide the situation or figure out the things? So I always admire him the most, and I'll always compare him. And after that, when I got married, so my mentor is Sandeep, my husband. So I always, I always compare myself. Although I'm nowhere at his level, but yes, I always think that one day I'll be reach on his level, and I'll be sorting out things like the way he sorted out. So, thank you.
Hey, well done, Parul. Interesting perspective. Thank you. Sir, you're next. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj, one should never set goals. One should never set goals. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj.
Thank you, Tabletop Master Aditya. Yes, I agree with this point. We should never set our goals because they will limit our potentials. If we are not having any goals, we may even go beyond what we were expecting to reach at. I tell you one incident. I was studying in 11th and I had decided that I will take commerce. At that time, I was studying English, Hindi, chemistry, physics, biology, and sports. But after completing 12th, I scored very good marks in science, and I thought that I would do BSc. And I took admission in BSc in industrial chemistry. After that, I did my MSc in industrial chemistry. I had not hoped, or I had not set my goals that I would do MSc. After that, I did my MBA in finance. Had I set my goals that I would do only commerce, I would not have done science, and I would not have learned the things which I'm doing nowadays. Nowadays, I'm helping the budding entrepreneurs who are basically technocrats and they do not know much about management. So I'm helping them in writing their plans, in starting their companies, in helping them in getting funds for them. So all in all, since I had not set any goals and I had not thought that I would become only this person. I have gone beyond that, and that's why I agree that one should not set the goals, and one should keep on working and working, and but maybe one day he or she will go even beyond the goals. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. An interesting perspective to a not so easy topic. Shivpriya, are you ready? Can we do an audio check for you?
Hi, am I audible and visible?
Loud and clear.
Lovely.
Distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya, are you holding on to something you need to let go of? Are you holding on to something you need to let go of? Distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya.
Every single experience in my life is what made me who I am. All these experiences are not necessarily nice. Think about the first table topic you gave and you embarrass yourself in front of complete strangers. Think about that one wedding you went to which you regretted the most because it is of your loved one. Think about the overconfident answer you gave in a class which was not right. And all these taught us something or other. The best part is that you want to let go of something, but you really cannot. Because what makes us is not just the success in our lives, but also the failures. The first time I gave a table topic, I realized that I need to improve on my communication skills. If I had to let go of that poor memory or that embarrassing memory, I would have never thought of improving myself. I know how it hurts when I go to see my former boyfriend or my former partner's wedding. It is painful, but it reminds me that what kind of emotions I am capable of. I know that when I give an overconfident answer which is incorrect, I know that I need to next time study well so that I don't make a fool of myself. Every single experience just makes me a better person I could be. So it's important for me to hold on these things because if I let it go, I'm actually letting my life go. Who says that you should always be flying? Sometimes you will also enjoy a roller coaster, going up and falling down. But the more you fall down, the more you'll enjoy going up once again and you'll feel the breeze on your face. So I wouldn't let anything go, Mr. Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much for those insights, DTM Shivpriya. At this point of time, I'd like to ask our timer if we have more time, or should we move on to the next section? We don't. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating in the first round of table toppings section. See you in the other side of the meeting. Back to you, Urfia, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Table Toppings Master for the day. I was delighted to see how you stuck to the theme. Next round represents the key ingredients of our meeting's recipe today, the prepared speech round. The first prepared speaker for the day is Toastmaster Raj Mehta. His favorite cake is the Black Forest cake. DTM Raj is fond of listening and watching birds, people, greenery, etc. Please help me welcome Raj as he delivers his Level 4 Project 2 on public relations strategies. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his public relations strategy. Toastmaster Raj, let's do PR for pyar. Let's do PR for pyar. Toastmaster Raj.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. One person once said, in fact, one great person once said, all you need is a little bit of P या R. Guess who that person is? Okay. I have been elected as the Vice President Public Relations at Professional Speakers for the upcoming term January 21 to June 2021. As every Vice President Public Relations is destined to get so much PR, I thought, why not to give away that PR through a lot of PR for my club, that is professional speakers. My PR strategies shall be towards reinforcement and better the position of professional speakers amongst Toastmasters of District 41 and beyond. When I say beyond Toastmasters of District 41, I mean various organizations, institutions, and corporations for speaking and training opportunities. For this, I propose to celebrate Valentine's Day 2021 in a unique yet pragmatic way. We shall have celebrations for 8 days from 7th February to 14th February. Each day shall be celebrated in a form of love. Rose Day, the 7th February, Propose Day, the 8th February, Chocolate Day on 9th February, Promise Day on 10th February, Teddy Day on 11th February, Hug Day on 12th February, Kiss Day on 13th February, and Valentine's Day on 14th February. The USP of the celebrations shall be a special meeting of around 1.5 hours each day with the day name as the theme. The meeting shall include one speech of 18 minutes, one critical speech evaluation of the length of the speech itself, and unique table topic session of 30 minutes. Each meeting shall be of 90 minutes in total, including merrymaking of 15 minutes. Speeches shall be free from any objectives and subject, but must take care of sentiments of people. All events shall be online, but the meeting on the Valentine's Day shall be physical as well as online. Prizes shall be given in the form of cash vouchers or gifts to the winners at table topic sessions each day, and the best speaker and best evaluator on the Valentine's Day. That is the final day. We shall publicize the events heavily. One flyer, one small video, and one write-up every day on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Each member of professional speakers shall submit an article of 300 to 400 words on any one day, much before the celebrations. These articles shall be uploaded on the website of professional speakers. In online meetings, we shall invite the friends, family members, colleagues, Toastmasters from all over the world. We shall engage some friends, media person, and agencies for a coverage of the meetings and the finale on 14th of February, a Sunday. On community radio, television, magazines, and newspapers. Advanced pitches shall be pitched online as well as offline. The main purpose of all this PR shall be to establish professional speakers as a brand where eloquence meets impact. At the same time, we shall create awareness about Toastmasters and the benefits of joining Toastmasters International. We shall be required to work hard many days in advance. All members should come forward to take various roles. Speakers and speech evaluators must be confirmed in advance with one backup for these roles. Agendas and flyers should be ready at least 7 days in advance. Confirmations from news reporters and newspapers, community and national radio stations, TV channels must be reconfirmed. Post-event follow-up with all media persons for proper reporting and activities shall be ensured. We shall not end up there. There are many things which we shall be required to do. For example, for all this, we shall conduct 2 to 3 preparatory meetings in the months of January and February for deciding all the roles, requirements, resources, role players, including spokespersons, sources for resources, and timelines. Dear professional speakers, it is not my event or his or her event. It is our event by us and for ourselves. By the way, hope by now you must have guessed the great person who had once said, all you need is a little bit of P ya R. Well, it is none other than Rupinder Singh Detia. Just for trial, let me ask the Toastmaster of the day, would you like to be the spokesperson of our events? Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raj Mehta. We will now observe 1 minute of silence for the audience to write their evaluation. Thank you, timer. Next up is the second prepared speaker of the day, Toastmaster Anshupriya Prasad. Anshupriya's favorite cake is the blueberry cheesecake. She is a journalist, currently working as a senior producer with India TV. Today, she will be delivering a level 1 speech of the third project. And the purpose of her project is for the member to learn or review basic research methods and present a well-organized, well-researched speech on any topic. Toastmaster Anshupriya, practicing for the grave. Practicing for the grave. Toastmaster Anshupriya.
Thank you. If you were to die tomorrow, what will you do today? When Toastmaster Aditya asked me this question, I was like, you want me to die tomorrow, don't you? Then he enlightened me with his wisdom and said, no, hypothetically. His question made me wonder, what will I do if I have only one day in my hands? I kept pondering over it. Then I thought of asking the man himself, who gave me the food for thought. Aditya replied, if he were to die tomorrow, God forbid, he will order a large cheese burst pizza and eat it all by himself. He also said that he will reflect on his life, will all the gratitude he has, and he will also reflect on his experiences. That's where the catch is. If you have to reflect on your life, then do it today. Do it every day. And this is what's called practicing for the grave. Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev explains the process in 2 steps. First step, before sleeping, sit on your bed and think as if you are sitting on your deathbed and you have only few minutes to live. Then look back and see how have you handled 24 hours of the day. Was it worthwhile? Second step, We all know when we will die, we are not going to take anything along with us. We have to leave everything here and go. And if we are practicing for our grave, then we must include this in our practice. Just leave everything aside, whatever you have gathered so far, like your body, mind, relationships, property, emotions, thoughts, mentally. Just keep everything aside and sleep as a life, not as a man or a woman. Next day, when you will get up, if you sleep like this, you will get up with more energy, more possibilities, and more light. If we don't practice for our grave today, then we might have to do it at the time of our actual death. And that time, we won't be able to fix things because that would be too late. Sadly, it happened with Steve Jobs. We know him as an epitome of success, but when he was on his deathbed, he was sorry for the life he had lived. In his dying declaration, Steve Jobs said, "At this moment, lying on the sick bed and recalling my whole life, I realize that all the recognition and wealth that I took so much pride in have paled and become meaningless in the face of impending death. The wealth I have won in my life, I cannot bring with me. What I can bring is only the memories precipitated by love. That's the true riches, which will follow you, accompany you, giving you strength and light to go on. Love can travel 1,000 miles. Life has no limit. Go where you want to go. Reach the height you want to reach. It's all in your heart and in your hands." That was Steve Jobs giving us the most pragmatic tips of life. Be alive, live your life to the fullest, and above all, love. Love is the only thing which can open our heart and make our life worthy of living. And that's what I'm trying to do. Live and love. Simple, isn't it? But sometimes it takes a lifetime to understand it. And it does take some special people to realize it. And of course, it takes year 2020 to make it happen, to transform the very way of our being. We already know how massive its impact is. And we are lucky to survive beyond epidemic. Let's celebrate this new life, which all of us have been gifted with, and keep practicing for the grave till we comprehend the true purpose of our life. As far as I am concerned, I will be doing what I am doing right now, living and loving. I'm not going to change it, even if it's the last day of my life, because this is the best I can do. Like Toastmaster Bhuvan said, if there is anything more important, I better do it now. I will not wait for the last day to do something which truly matters to me. Hence, whatever you wish to do in life, do it today. Do it now. Barring eating large cheese burst pizza every day. Sometimes it is okay. Thank you. Over to you.
A big round of applause for our second speaker, Anshu Priya. Thank you so much. Let's now observe 1 minute of silence for the evaluation. Okay, let's recall what we have observed today so far in the meeting and see how it is similar to baking a cake. The short-term goals was a preheated oven, followed by 3 speeches which formed the layers of the cake. And then we had the table toppings round. Now that our cake is baked, let's decorate our cake and add the final touch by adding the sprinkles with the second session of table topics. To add that unique essence, let's welcome to the meeting once again Toastmaster Aditya Gupta to conduct the second round of table topics. Toastmaster Aditya.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you. Can I just say I love the way how you've personalized the different structure of our meeting today as per the baking and the toppings and everything. Very creative. May I now invite a guest, Anhad, on the virtual stage with us for a table topic. Hi, Anhad. Can you do an audio check?
Wait, my mic, it takes like 5 seconds. Yeah. Am I audible?
Loud and clear.
Cool.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Guest Anhad, what is your favorite cake you would treat everyone with? What is your favorite cake you would treat everyone with? Guest Anhad.
Okay, let us come to the fact that I have to treat everyone with this cake. So I will have to be very pragmatic here because the fact is that this cake has to be perfect for everyone. Let us see what everyone likes. I love chocolate personally, and most people in my friend circle love chocolate too. So chocolate is the perfect base for the cake, isn't it? Now, most people in my group are a big fan of the chocolate truffle cake, but chocolate truffle cake is a bit too basic for my liking. It is very dense and heavy. So I would like something lighter, maybe something like a black forest cake with a chocolate base, but with white cream and cherries. But cherries aren't really my favorite. So for that, the perfect cake would actually be a chocolate and vanilla marble cake with cream which is chocolate flavored cream. And that would be perfect for everyone because everyone likes vanilla. Vanilla is vanilla basically, because vanilla has come to mean the word basic in most circles, because that is what vanilla is. Everyone can tolerate vanilla except for those allergic to vanilla, of course. But in the end, a chocolate and vanilla cake, you can't go very wrong with it. With some chocolate icing, that would be my cake that I would feed everyone around me.
Thank you so much, Anand. Post this meeting, I'm definitely ordering one cake on Zomato for me. For our next table topping, can I invite Anisha on the virtual stage? Anisha, can you do an audio check? I'm not sure if you're giving Ashirwad or your screen is frozen. Anisha, are you saying something? We're unable to hear you. Meanwhile, Anisha is figuring out some technical glitches. Can I invite somebody else on the virtual stage? Anisha, I'll come back to you right after it.
Master, can I check?
Sorry, come again?
Faslu Rahman.
Oh, sure, Mr. Rahman. How do you pronounce your name?
Fasilu.
Fasilu.
Oh, you call me.
All right. Mr. Rahman, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Mr. Rahman.
Can you repeat the topic?
The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war.
The more you sweat, the less you bleed. Have you ever been the part of a war in your life? Many of you would jump out and say, no. But I would say all of us have been the part of different kinds of wars in our lives. Wars in the kitchen, wars at workplace, even wars on the Toastmasters World Championship stage, addressing thousands of people across the globe. Do you fight like a warrior, or do you run away like a coward? Ladies and gentlemen, life is a test of determination. If you are hard-nosed and if you know how to fight it out, you are the winner. Nobody will find you bleeding because you have not fought the war, but because you have braved it pragmatically. If you are in the kitchen, if you know to talk to your wife, darling, can I have a cup of coffee? She would treat you pragmatically, giving you a very good slap if she dares to. But if you know to talk to your wife, darling, can I have a nice cup of coffee from your wonderful hands? She will treat you with thousands of, I leave it to you, imagine. Dear Toastmasters, as I mentioned before, life is a test of skills. Life is a test of patience and also sacrifice. The more you fight it, the less you bleed. The less you bleed, the happier you live. As one of the speakers was mentioning in her speech, until you breathe the last, bake cakes of happiness, fight it out, share it, and make others happy as well. The more you fight, the less you bleed. Back to the table topic, Master.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rahman. With those bold expressions, I am definitely not going to fight against you. Anisha, are you there with us?
I hope this is better now.
Yes, much better. We can hear you, unable to see you though. Now we can, perfect. All right, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Toastmaster Anisha, what is so important to you, you would be willing to go to war for it? What is so important to you, you would be willing to go to war for it? Toastmaster Anisha.
Since we're talking about cakes here, and I'm very sure that everyone has a sweet tooth, even if they're not, everyone has some space for desserts at the end of a good meal. It's something that I really feel that not everyone in the world can get a cake to themselves. If I had a superpower and I would really want everyone to achieve something in the world and I could really go to war for it, it would be providing everyone in the world, a piece of cake. And a piece of cake would be a metaphor here because I'm really talking about happiness in their lives, whatever they deserve to be. That would be my superpower, and I would fight for it. In my personal life and in my professional life, I like to work for social causes. Currently, I work for non-profits to help, especially the children, achieve their right of education. And I believe that when they receive the right education, that brings a good smile on their face. That brings to them serenity in their life. And to me, it gives me a pleasant joy. For me, that is my piece of cake. That is their piece of cake. And I think everyone in their family realizes that this is what can be achieved in the world. this is what I would like to fight the world against it. I'm doing it right now, and I would like continue to do so. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Anisha. May I say that was a beautiful take on this. Love the way how you transitioned the whole thing. I'm pretty sure you would have delighted our Toastmaster of the day, number one, starting with the cake. General evaluator, number two, by mentioning desserts. And the rest of the table topic speakers and the uh, our rest of the speakers, I would like to commend you on continuing the usage of word of the day. I'm pretty sure Grammarian is enjoying his role out there. Continuing our table toppings. Timer, may I know if I have time for? Damn it. Never mind. Thank you so much. With that, back to you. Uh, Toppings master of the day, if I may. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aditya, for brilliantly and very creatively sticking to the theme and helping us all serve the cake that we all baked today. Now that the cake is served, it is time we all wait for the feedback. To conduct the evaluations, I would now hand over the stage to the master chef of the day, who is a father to a handsome son, who he believes has taken after his father, a self-confessed wonderful husband with difference of opinion about his humor. He thinks he is hilarious. People think he is insufferable. On a serious note, though, when he is not lazying or sleeping around, Rupinder drives improvement and excellence as a learning and development professional. He has a unique taste in cakes, as his favorite cake is tiramisu. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome DTM Rupinder to head the evaluation section.
I am pretty sure I did not say sleeping around in my introduction. I said sleeping. But thank you for being creative with that,
I
Madam
apologize for that.
Madam Toastmaster of the day. I will start with the speech evaluations, and I would like to call on stage Sandeep Kumar to take his roundtable evaluation. In professional speakers, we follow a roundtable evaluation session, the time for which is 3 to 5 minutes. You may be called upon by the professional speaker to give a commendation or a recommendation. I would sincerely request that if a commendation or a recommendation is already given, please do not repeat. If you don't have something to contribute, pass it on to the next speaker so that our speakers get the maximum value. With that, I invite Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar on stage.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. Before I take the feedback, I would like to share the feedback received last time so that. Hello. Hello. Okay. So I would like to share the feedback given last time, so you may see the improvement.
They're not audible.
Now it's audible?
Yes.
Better, yeah.
Better.
Okay. So I would like to share the recommendations given last time. First is placement of camera, grammatical error.
Sandeep.
You have to come closer.
No, absolutely nothing. No.
Sandeep, do you want me to move to the next speaker? We can come back to you. Sandeep, do you want me to move to the next speaker? We can come back to you. Okay. I apologize for that. I now call on stage distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. Now, Raj Mehta requested that he be evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur and Toastmaster Aditya Gupta. I will now add Mukesh Thakur to the spotlight. Mukesh, you have 2.5 minutes to evaluate Raj. I would request somebody to please time Mukesh.
I will do it.
Thank you very much, DTM Rupinder, and our target speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Behta, for coming up with the most motivating speech for me. I am saying motivating speech for me because of the two reasons. First, this is relating to my club and my PR, and second, you are coming with the post of VP so it will be benefiting as I will be trying to play my role and justify my role as a president of the club. So whatever you are doing, it is not only encouraging me as an audience, but as a leader also. So I was excited to hear your all well planned, blueprinted program for the benefit of the professional speaker. I am also excited how meticulously you have planned for your role. So it is not only about one speech which starts with opening, closing, opening body and the conclusion. It is also about uh, you as a person, how you are taking the things and how you are projecting yourself as a leader to the audience. You started with a marvelous plan for the Valentine's Day for the professional speaker, for which you started with each day with one celebrations, and for that you not only shared how you were going to publish the entire program and then where you want to reach at the end of the PR, then how it will be done pragmatically because members has to be prepared according to that. So it's not just about talking in the air; it's also filled with some ground works. So I was really excited to hear your speech with various fronts. Coming to the recommendation, I would like to make your speech a bit more better by giving you a challenge. So I was listening to your entire plan, and till the middle of your speech, I could not understand what you are going to achieve out of it. It is only your publicity stunt as a PR, or you are doing something realistic. So just start with the objective and then go to the details. And second, know your audience. What you are going to say is it. Are you talking to the members of the club? Are you talking to the targets of for the club? So what you are actually doing? Is it a publicity or is it a planning speech? So that's are my recommendations. Otherwise, I am looking forward for your event and my contribution in whatever way I can do. Back to the general event.
Thank you. May I request Aditya to provide his feedback? Aditya, you have to unmute yourself for that.
Yeah. Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj, may I say what a phenomenal speech and what a fantastic plan you have in store for the members of professional speakers. I'm sure they would be as delighted as I was to hear your plan. May I say the start of your speech, or even before the start of your speech, I was personally curious with the speech title, Let's Do Some PR for PR. I had two of my guests seated who was standing right across from the laptop. They were listening and even they smiled and giggled and said, we are going to use it for our PR strategies. Let's do some PR for PR. Love the way you love the beautiful wordplay you did there. I also loved where you started with asking the question to an audience who said this word, let's do some PR for PR, and waited for the audience to respond. And you closed the loop at the end of the speech by giving an answer to the audience, which was none other than our own general evaluator of the day. I loved what an interesting agenda of, not just a meeting, but for the whole Valentine's week you had in store for our members. I could have never imagined spending the Valentine's week in such an interesting manner. While you were explaining the agenda, I loved the sense of authority you had in your voice. Made it felt to me like you were owning that speech every second of the 5 to 6 minutes that you had. I would also like to commend you on the constant smile you had throughout the speech. And in fact, I personally found it very difficult to suggest some recommendations on it. But being pragmatic, there's always scope for improvement. I have three recommendations for you. The first one being adjusting the camera height to the level where the webcam is towards your eyes so that the audience feel you have maintained an eye contact with them. That's number one. Number two is again the eye contact point. And number three is concluding the speech with the purpose of why you started with it. Just like you opened with the question, you closed with the question, I would have also loved to see the purpose of this speech. Having said that, I think you fulfilled very well and justified the objective and the purpose of your speech, which was to practice the skills needed to effectively use PR strategies for a group. I wish you all the very best for your next PR term. And being a member, I'm very excited for all the things you have planned for us. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Mukesh and Aditya.
Back to you, GE. You're on mute.
Thank you, Aditya. Not just you, but I think an entire collection of professional speakers is very excited to have Raj Mehta as their VPPR. Sandeep, if you are ready, do you want to do an audio video check so that we can?
Hope I'm audible this time.
You are audible. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, General Evaluator. I would like to share the recommendations provided to me last time, so you can give the recommendations and any scope of improvement. One is placement of camera was not there. There were grammatical errors. Third is the speech could be better if I was standing last time. And last one is the conclusion of the last part. So I will begin with Anisha, guest Anisha. Guest Anisha, your feedback, please. I think there is some error. Rupinder.
Sandeep, I found the presentation very well structured. First of all, it was very clean. It employed the minimalist principles that you were proposing. There was almost an 80-20 ratio in almost every slide. So I love that. Where I felt you can improve is when you asked us to write 10 things in 10 seconds. I thought that was like too aggressive a deadline. Other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you, Rupinder. I would take the feedback from Urfia.
Overall, I thought, like I agree with Rupinder, though I was only able to write 3 goals, but it did make a point in my head, and I did realize what is the first thing I need to get to after today. So overall, I learned a lot of things from your speech today.
Thank you. Dismissed Toastmaster Mukesh, your feedback, please.
Sandeep, it was really interesting, and the best part of your entire speech was interaction with the audience. Throughout your session, there was interaction. It was, and plus there was very good examples in your speech so that we can relate it to our everyday life. For example, our science and discovery and road traffic. That was the best thing that you related to us. My recommendation is 80-20 rule is known to everyone, and the moment you said your speech, it was known to me what you are going to say, and it happened throughout your speech. So I could get nothing unexpected. Everything was expected. So for me, it felt like a bit of drag. Just try to put something that I don't know. Your audience don't know. That is my only recommendation.
Thank you. Toastmaster Aditya.
Oh, Toastmaster Sandeep, I think you were fantastic today. I hardly have any recommendations for you. Would like to commend on the structure of the content, the presentation, the level of research you went through, and beautiful insights you shared with us. I just have one recommendation, and that's mostly around the presentation part. Specifically mentioning to the goals slide where there were 3 points and you read one of those and asked us to jot something down while maybe others were writing their goals down. I was busy reading the rest of the 2 points which I shouldn't have read. So maybe working on animation bit of this slide so that audience only sees what you want them to see at that moment. That would be only recommendation from my side. Other than that, great job.
Thank you. Guest Fasalu, your recommendation, please.
Toastmaster Sandeep, thank you very much. I really liked the session. No recommendations. Thank you.
Okay, let me take the last feedback from guest Gayatri.
So, Sandeep, you have already read out the recommendations from the previous time. This time, I just felt that the entire speech was wonderful. You managed to inspire every person in the audience today. I only felt that in some places there were the pauses were very elongated. There was a blank space in a few places. You could have utilized that pause in giving more than 10 seconds while noting down the goals. So there was a little bit of pause, but otherwise it was a wonderful speech.
Thank you for providing the feedback. Definitely it will help me in improving next time. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sandeep. I would now like to call on stage Anshu Priya Prasad to receive her feedback. Spotlighting Anshu Priya.
Thank you, Rupinder. I would like to start with you only.
Anshu Priya, I see a pattern in your speech where you tend to get really impassioned. And I know that you are being yourself, but I would ask you to kind of tone down on that. Because you were quite close to the microphone, so it was coming across as a screech. Second, your facial expressions were not keeping up with the with your vocal intonation, so work on that.
Okay, thank you. Raj sir, would you like to say something?
Thank you, Shukriya. As always, I like your speech. I particularly like one sentence in your speech, which is sleep like a life. And you were talking about grave. And secondly, second thing which I liked in your speech is the example of Steve Jobs and how you could establish your matter, the crux of the matter with that particular example. I would recommend that you should now start standing and giving this speech. It's been too much that you have been sitting and giving this speech. Let's now start standing and giving these speeches.
Okay, thank you, Raj sir. Madam TMOD, do you want to say something?
It was the first time I heard you give a speech. I was really delighted to see your facial expressions, the voice modulations, and all of that. So I was really ingrained in that. I did not observe any recommendations, but I thoroughly enjoyed your speech throughout. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Anshupriya, I felt the content was very touching. As always, you actually draw that things. I like the expressions, the voice, and the your cheerful smile and facial expressions. The only recommendation, if you can inculcate the personal anecdote, that would be better. to make the speech more impactful.
Okay, thank you. Fazlu, do you want to say something?
I've already texted you, so thank you very much. Keep going.
I got you red-handed. Okay, Gayatri.
I also actually wrote it to you, but I would still like to say it in front of everyone. I have witnessed the growth that you have achieved. I remember the first time I heard you. I really remember all the 3, 4 times that I have heard you in past 2 and 3 months. Today's speech was like, I was like, is this Anshupriya? Honestly, that was my reaction. So you have grown a lot as a speaker. I was like, wow, she's doing great. It's time that even I should now take up things seriously. But you were amazing. The only thing is that the vocal variations that were seen very prominently in few places in your speech, you could just have a little more. You could just it's an ongoing process. You will reach there soon. I am sure of it. So that's the only thing. No recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
You're on the right path.
Thank you so much. Aita, did I justify your topic?
Um, yes, you did. I think that was a very beautiful take on the topic. I resonate with Raj sir, where you shared example of Steve Jobs. A lot of people know about his growth and his business mindset. Very few know about his death letter and his last words. I also love the insights you mentioned about Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev. And towards, if I were to divide your speech into opening, body, and conclusion, some parts of the body where there was a lot of vocal variety and a lot of emotions going up and down. If I were to paint a picture of the graph, it was going like up and down, specifically. Loved that bit. I would highly encourage you to keep on doing that. Overall, loved it.
Okay, thank you. Anhad, would you want to say something? Anhad, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. Am I audible?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. Great meeting. Loved the speeches a lot. They were pretty good. And the evaluation was top notch. So kudos to that. The meeting was good as a whole. Table
Um,
topics
um,
were
um,
fun. So, yeah.
Anat, sorry to interrupt. I think she's asking evaluation about her speech.
Yeah,
I
I was
think.
saying
Oh,
that on mute.
oh, okay. So, that's embarrassing. Um,
No, it's not.
so
Treat us with the cake. We'll forget that.
Mm, yes.
maybe. Okay. The speech was pretty good. Yes, I really liked the speech. Again, the evaluators really hit the nail on the head uh, with their evaluation. I completely agree with that. But as a whole, I feel that the speech was deep, I guess. That's a good adjective for it. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anand. Now, I think my time is over. I will be incorporating these suggestions. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you. I will begin with the table topics evaluation. Timer, please time me for 2 to 3 minutes. Starting off with Gayatri. Gayatri, I must commend you because you did not get an easy topic. You were asked to list 5 things, and I will commend you for the fact that you were able to list at least 4 of them. And it is easy to lose track when you're asked to do 5. So that is where I felt that the table topic was a little bit difficult for you. My feedback would be around the part that you put a great deal of stress on the humor aspect of the argument. That went for about 45 seconds to a minute, and the rest of them did not get the justice that they deserved. I typically would get in one sentence for each of the qualities, and then if time remains, I will expound upon those qualities. Parul, who do you compare yourself to? Excellent choice, your father. And then you had that argument around what would my father do. That was very well done. I would have loved some examples as to what kind of values did your father imbibe, with specific examples there. Raj, never set goals. I love that argument that you should not set goals because goals limit potential, and you created some excellent, relatable examples. The only recommendation I have, and it is more of nitpicking, Raj, is that industrial chemistry is something that people might not be familiar with. So maybe a sentence about industrial chemistry would have helped us. Shiv Priya, holding on to something you should not. At first, I thought, where is she going with it? But then in the end, you bought it back beautifully. Some excellent examples about starting with think about this, think about that. And love the quote that who says that you should always enjoy flying. Anhad, your favorite cake? You made a choice, chocolate truffle. You described the cake very well. My only recommendation to you is decide on a cake that you want to have in the first place. Fazal, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. Not an easy topic to remember, and I wonder why, because to me it is a very famous quote, but good metaphors for a war. I loved your expressions and the vocal variety and the conclusion that you have. In my experience, no wife will slap her husband. So I thought that that was a bit of an exaggeration. Anisha, what is so important that you will fight for? And I think very good argument about cake and the happiness, the metaphor of happiness. You brought a smile to my face, and that is not a mean achievement. That is an excellent achievement. The one thing that I would like you to do, Anisha, is decide on a topic. So you kind of dithered between cake, happiness, and then education. So just decide on one topic, stick to it, and build the topic around it. With that, I will now go to my tag team to and ask them to deliver their reports. And G for grammarian, G for Gayatri. Gayatri, come on stage and please present your report.
Thank you so much, Rupinder. There was some really interesting good usages in today's meeting. Ulfia, I don't really want to talk about your usages. I will just have to copy paste your entire session. But I love the way you said well balanced combination of key ingredients, metaphor of a cake or table toppings round. It was extremely engaging. Radsa came up with some interesting thoughts. One day you can go beyond your goals. We shall engage some friends and media. It is not his event or her event, it is our event. Anshupriya came up with worthwhile epitome of success. It's all in your heart and your hands. And life is test of skills and passion was something that Faslu said, and it caught my eye. Word of the day was used by Ulfiya, Anshupriya, Anhad, Aditya, and Faslu. There were some not so good usages as well. I will just run through a few of them. We shall have celebrations for 8 days. Instead of that, you could have said, we shall have an 8 days celebration. Prizes shall be given, prizes shall be distributed would be more appropriate. Members should come forward to take various roles. However, what you described were the responsibilities. So you could have said various responsibilities. Uh, TV channels be reconfirmed could have been follow up on TV channels. What will I do if I have only one day in my hand? Uh, it's actually the literal translation from Hindi कि अगर मेरे हाथ में एक ही दिन है तो क्या? It should ideally be if I have only one day left to live. You will get up with should have been you will wake up with. Let's celebrate these new life. It should be this new life or these new lives. Personalized structure of meeting in context to the theme, it should personalized structure. It should have been the customized the structure of the meeting with various fronts should have been have been on various fronts. There was like he catch the uneven distribution. It should have been he caught the uneven distribution. Do minimum work should have been put in minimum efforts would have been more appropriate. We have to hard work is the wrong construction. It should have been we have to work hard. And there was one more thing used, which was let us do a small game. It should have been let us play a small game. There were a few other things as well. If anybody wants to reach out to me personally, I'll be more than happy to share the feedback. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, grammarian. I would now like to call, I will now spotlight our counter, Fazlur Rahman. You have the stage.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. I'll quickly take you through my presentation to show you what has taken place in the meeting with regards to R counting, and ums, you knows, or unwanted pauses, short pauses and long pauses, even word repetitions. You can see the table. This is the report. This is how I have the report. I appreciate Toastmaster of the day. What a job. Not even one time I could find you going wrong. Toastmaster Gayatri, you did exceptionally well till the end, but then I could find some oohs and ums at the end. Toastmaster Sandeep, congratulations. What a job. Toastmaster Paru, if I'm correct with your name, if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Then you have two. And the Toastmaster Raj, you can see the sketch, the table I'm sharing with you here. But exceptional, I have to tell you, professional speakers, Toastmasters Club meeting. I believe it's not the quantity, it's the quality of a meeting that decides how good the club is. I have to tell you that after attending a lot of club meetings, Toastmasters, Professional Toastmasters Club is one of those best clubs I've ever attended in my life. Congratulations to everyone.
Thank you. And may I now call upon distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur to present his report as timer. Spotlighting Mukesh.
Once again, just let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So congratulations to all of you, because I should have been sharing my report at 5:52 and now I am sharing this report at 5:42. So thank you very much for every member who has contributed to this time saving of 10 minutes. And there are some contributors. However, there are some people who have been taking advantage of those contributions. So I will quickly go run through my report. You can see there are green lights, there are yellow lights, and there are red lights. We have reached till here. So all the green lights are either on the time or they are before the time. But there are some instances where they are too much below the time. For example, professional speaker, he has been given timing of 18 minutes, but he decided to conclude his speech in 13 minutes. So had you been given more time, you should utilize putting more content to your speech, because you can leverage that time. Apart from that, there are some works to be done in the tabletop, in the Toastmasters of the day introductions. So in the introduction of table topics master, 143 seconds. The first session of table topics was 2 minutes higher than the agenda planned schedule. Apart from that, I would really appreciate Toastmaster of the day, because she was on the time for almost every session, every section of the meeting, be it introduction or the introduction or explaining the structure or everything. All the speakers were on time, all professional speakers were on time, all the silences were on time. In the evaluation section, you can see there is red light. So in the first evaluation, Sandeep took 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I am saying so because I am also adding the previous glitch that happened. So I have added it to his evaluation time. Evaluation by me and Aditya both took almost 3 minutes and 5 seconds and 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Evaluation by Anshupriya Prasad took again 6 minutes and 20 seconds, and GE evaluated for 3 minutes 30 seconds, 37 seconds instead of 3 minutes. Our counters report took 1 minute, grammarian took 2 minutes and 57 seconds, and I have taken 3 minutes and 8 seconds. So I should I'll share my report and then give the stage back to the general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, uh, timer. I would request you to time me for one last time for 3 to 5 minutes as I talk about the meeting and the various role players. For that, let me spotlight myself. Shameless self promotion. Well, I am very happy to say that at professional speakers meetings start on time. I would be brave enough to say that they either start on time or we will stop the time so that the meetings start on time. Today was no different. We started exactly at 4 o'clock. I think we all deserve a round of applause for that. And I would like to thank the audience members for being ever so supportive. I would particularly also like to thank the organizers for setting up the meeting room properly. The guests were warmly greeted. I believe that the club mission statement was properly read, and I also, where I see a challenge is with the presiding officer, in that he got his introductions mixed up. He was supposed to have said the club mission statement, move straight away into the short term goals, and then gone about introducing the guest. That order got mixed up a little bit. The table topic master, I must commend you for your the way you handled the table topic session. I consider you to be one of the best R counters around. I'm going to add table topic master to that group. What I particularly liked was the way you commented upon each topic. We There is a risk that people get carried away. Not so in your case. You were right on dot, just one or maximum two short sentences commending the speaker. And this is what speakers need in order to come back. To my tag team, I perhaps could not have asked for a better tag team today. Still, if I have to nitpick, and although my grammarian finished on time, I would ask her to stick to a 5-5-5 formation, five commendations, five recommendations, and then again five commendations. To my R counter, it doesn't seem like that you do not belong to professional speakers. That was a very well documented and a very well articulated our counter report. Just one minor point of feedback, and it is not even related to our counting. We are actually professional speakers. We are not professional Toastmasters Club. We are not professional speakers Toastmasters Club. We are simply professional speakers. But given that you came here for the first time, even that does not apply to you. But thank you for coming here and making doing such a wonderful job as an R counter. It is one thing to be a guest performer at a club, it is another thing to get it absolutely right. The meeting overall went very well. I could not have asked for a better meeting. We are ahead of time. We had wonderful speeches. We had everything that was nailed down. Now, am I missing out on someone? Of course. One that takes the cake literally, the leadership cake. Urfia, I have heard this for the third time, and every time you keep on getting better. Now, you can say that it is a natural thing. Everybody will get better with practice. But very few of us do. Very few of us actually go about improving on our previous performances. And just for that reason alone, I think you deserve a wonderful round of applause. I will even forgive you for that goof up of me being somewhat promiscuous in nature. But keeping that aside, it was a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful performance. I think it was probably one of the best Toastmaster of the Day performances that I have seen in this club. And that speaks volume for somebody who's coming from outside and doing this role for the very first time. And that was it from my report as a general evaluator. I will now hand it over to that inept presiding officer that you met in the beginning, which happens to be Rupinder Singh. Thank you very much, Rupinder, for that general evaluator report. As always, a mediocre job done. You keep on setting new benchmarks in mediocrity, and for that, I think you should be very proud. Or maybe not. But let's move on to our guests and let us ask them how they felt about the meeting today. Let us start with Faslu Rahman. I hope I'm getting your name right and I'm not butchering it.
You're right, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To be honest, I really liked the meeting. If you ask me why, it's because every speaker gets something from the others. That's very important. And that exactly tells the story of the club because everybody gets some sort of feedback from everyone. I like that. I've never seen that happening in other clubs. Number two, the sort of seriousness you have at the same time, keeping everybody happy. So that's my feedback for you. I would love to come back again, if possible, to be the part of this meeting. Thank you. Back to you.
You are more than welcome. Just let us know whenever you want to come. I would now like to ask Anisha.
For that little glitch. Okay. Yes. So at professional speakers, I love the aura over here. Today, especially, I would go to bed with sweeter memories, thanks to Madam Toastmaster of the Day. And at the club, I really feel that not just the speakers, the members of the club perform really well, but the guests also come up to a really high expectation and set the bar higher. So I love to keep coming back, especially having the two table topic sessions was, I think, a cherry on the top. Back to you, Mr. President.
Yeah, but two table topics was more of an accident. We could not find a power talk speaker, so I decided to burden Aditya with two table topics. So, but he did not take up a role in the EC, so I guess this is my comeback. I'm kidding. Let me ask Urfia Abdul, what did you feel about this meeting today, and how was your experience being a Toastmaster of the day?
First of all, I was when I got a call from Rupinder and he asked me to be a team mod here. I was in a way shocked. I did not think I would be capable of delivering anything here in this club because I always looked up to all the professional speakers here as I have attended meetings earlier. So I was really glad and happy and nervous at the same time to present here at this level. But it was a very enriching experience. I got to learn a lot of things. One thing in particular would be the evaluation round. That was something new that I noticed, and I loved how everyone evaluated. There were different techniques and recommendation that I have never heard before. So I really got to learn from that. Overall, a beautiful experience. Thank you, Rupinder, for giving me that.
You're most welcome, and you're always welcome to this club. Anyone else who would like to commend anyone or have a few words to say? And that goes for the members of the club as well.
I would like to commend Raj sir on his oratory skills today. Um, for I think 30 seconds to 60 seconds, I was completely lost. I did not bother writing any evaluation down. I felt like there's a younger Narendra Modi on the stage and speaking out the election propaganda. This is what I'll do for you. This is what I'll do for you. Vote for me. Vote for me. Vote for me. So hats off to you, Raj sir, for that.
Thank you, Aditya. Thank you very much. Young people have been the source of inspiration for me.
Yeah, you should have bought that in your election speeches. That form. Right. Anyone else? Fazal, your our counter report was quite intriguing.
Impressive. Yeah.
It was interesting. I really liked it, the way you marked out everyone. Great job there. I did not realize that Urfia did not put a foot wrong while she was speaking. I did not realize that.
I would like to recommend, I would like to commend Sandeep for the dress he has worn
Yes,
today,
yes,
because he, as per his role, he is truly looking at the
yes. And to be honest,
professional speaker.
to be
Professional
honest,
speaker.
I was going to come in a cap today. It is a miracle that I put on a turban. There's some stuff happening at home. But when Sandeep came on, I immediately went into a complex. I was like, no, this is how you're supposed to be dressed up. Yeah. Okay. If no one has anything to say, then I will close the meeting as I have to rush. Thank you so much, everyone.
Anshupriya, just one question from Anshupriya. How do you
Yeah,
bring so much emotion in your
yeah,
speeches?
exactly. Even I want to know that. Even I want to know that.
I don't know. I feel it. Whatever I say, I feel. That's why.
Oh my God.
Wow, good.
How do you feel the emotion?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I'm going through many emotions for many years.
We just hope you go through positive ones for the rest of your life.
Now I will. Now I will, because I have managed. I have, like, now I can manage it. Thank
Anisha and Urfia, uh, might I be bold enough to ask you to consider membership to professional
Yeah, that
speakers?
was my next question.
Give the stage to
you.
Raser.
You.
Give the stage to Raser.
I have, because I am going to be the VP membership. I might as well hit the ground running. So, which is why
Yeah.
I asked.
You're already on the job, DTM Rupinder. So yeah, I am actually considering that, and then I think it's also up to the club and to create a win-win situation.
So
I actually
what you need to do is you need to send us a 2-minute video as to why you should be considered for membership at professional speakers. What is it that you bring to the table, and what is it that you want from professional speakers? And based on that, we will have an internal voting and we'll come back to you.
I would like to put the question straight. Your 1 minute should be on why you want to join this club. And second, how would you contribute to the growth of the club? It should be exactly 2 minutes. If it will be more than 2 minutes, we shall cut some part of the speech. So make it sure that it is either a little bit less than 2 minutes or 2 minutes only.
Sir, had you told me about this earlier, I would have given her this table topic.
Yeah,
that would have been
next
a practice. Yes,
that
I actually have a question for Toastmaster Urfia. Uh, may I, Mr. Presiding Officer?
sure. It's an open
Okay.
session.
Yes. So I want to know that while preparing for your role today, you must have asked all members their favorite cakes. Did anyone promise you to actually treat you to any of that? Or did you actually ask anyone for a treat as well?
She did not. She
I did
did not
not
ask.
ask, but unfortunately, no, I did not get it either.
Actually, Rupinder was
I think
one.
I deserve one.
He should.
Yes, you sure, you definitely.
He should do the honors.
You
So
should.
whenever we will have physical meetings, we shall invite you and offer you a cake.
I was asked by a general evaluator what type of cake do you like. I thought he would be ordering one for me. When I asked him, he said no, I would take away instead.
You should know better than to come between me and food. No, I actually wanted to keep this a surprise because I know that Urfia does a wonderful job with the theme. So I played the go between. I was happy to do that. But it was a meeting worth watching, which I realize it is also going live on YouTube.